Just a couple of housekeeping things. I'm going to say one thing to our leaders, and then I'll talk to you about a couple things. Leaders, just so you're not thrown off guard, Rob sent out week 3's lesson for this week. We are actually going to do week 4 because I didn't know how to change it in Lead Small App. So just so you're not caught off guard, so you may want to pull out the app and take a look at that discussion stuff real quick. Appreciate you guys being here. All right, back to the students. Just a few announcements. We've got a couple of things coming up. You just got to see last year's Refuel Weekend recap video, and Refuel is coming up. So we are excited for it this year. It's going to look a little different this year, but you can actually throw up that QR code. Can you throw up the QR code? There's a QR code here that you can just take a picture. It'll send you to registration for that. You can also, if you want to just snap a picture of that, send it to your friends that you're inviting. Refuel Weekend's coming up. It's going to be the last weekend in February. Actually, right over mine and Lily's birthdays. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing something new for the first time this year, because we're not doing host homes again, unfortunately. However, we're going to do a lock-in at the church. Everybody's going to stay up here on the second night. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a great speaker. His name's Damian Cooper, and he's just an awesome guy. And we're excited to see how God's going to use that weekend. So if you want to take a second, take a shot of that, get registered, and be a part of Refuel Weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Second thing is we kicked off our Christian sexuality study last week. We kind of did our first session Sunday morning here, and then we started off doing our focus groups on Sunday night from 6 to 7:30, and it was awesome. It was a great turnout. A lot of you guys showed up, and it was a lot of fun, and we're getting to have some real conversations that are not necessarily the most comfortable conversations to have, but they're necessary conversations that we're having here. And we're excited to see kind of what God does over the next 9 weeks as we continue to meet. And so session 4 is happening tonight, because we did sessions 2 and 3 last Sunday night. And so we're kicking off session 4 tonight at 6 o'clock. We would love to have you join us 6 to 7:30. You can just come up here at the Commons doors, and we'll get you to where you guys need to be. Nothing you have to do to prepare. All you got to do is come, ready to be honest with each other and have some good conversation. It's going to be a good time. So join us with that. Is there anything else that I'm leaving out? Oh, I just can't wait. What do you got for us, Will? All right. My car only works every other day. Might be an alternator. Got to get that checked out. That's a good one. All right, we're going to play a quick game. What's the points for this month? So we've got 7th grade boys with 40 million points and 11th grade boys with 40 million points. Let's get some girl points on the board today, right? Everybody stand on up. We're going to play a game real quick that's called, can you put up that title slide? Real or Fake, Volume 2. So here's how this is going to work. Here's how this is going to work. You're going to see a picture. You're going to decide if it's real or if it's fake. If it's real, thumbs up. If it's fake, thumbs down. If you're wrong, sit down. If you're right, stay in. Here we go. If we have like a ton, I'm going to give you, let's say girls. If you last all the way to the last question, I'm just giving points to everybody that has somebody in. Okay? So if there's like 4 junior girls that make it all the way to the end, you're going to get 40 million points per person that's in toward the end. All right, here we go. Let's see the first one. You can skip that. All right, is this real or fake? Is this a real picture or a fake picture? Thumb up if you think it's real. Thumb down if you think it's fake. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. Fake. So the crescent-shaped island is real. The star-shaped island is fake. If you got it wrong, sit down. If you got it right, you're in. All right, let's see the next question. Real or fake? Pictures, are these trees real or is that photoshopped? Thumb up if it's real, thumb down if it's fake. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Real. This is a photo of the Crooked Forest in West Pomerania. It has over 400 bent pine trees, which creates a truly creepy setting. I wonder what did that. You think like wind? You think that's a wind thing? I don't know. All right, here we go. That didn't take out too many, but it took out a few. Here we go. Let's see the next one. Is this real or fake? Is that like blue lava? What is that? All right, here we go. Real or fake? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see it. It's real. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but it's a part of complex volcanoes in Banyuwang Regency. I don't even know where that is. That's crazy. So it's a dense collection of gas, which makes it look blue. All right, that's awesome. Or burn blue. All right, let's see the next one. Real or fake? Giant rubber duck. Real? Fake? You think it's real? Real? All right, let's see it. Real. It's designed by Dutch artists. Where is that at? Oh, there's several of them around the world. Oh, so you've seen one? Have you seen one? No, I put it there. Oh, all right. All right, let's see. Let's go to the next one. Real or fake? It's a group of flamingos in the shape of a flamingo or a bird-shaped object. Real or fake? You think that's real or fake? All right, let's see the answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's real. In the Yucatan. In the Yucatan. All right, here we go. Let's see. How many people are still in? Are you guys out now? So we got Todd still in. We got Ray still in. Do we just have boys in again? Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. All right, let's see the next one. Real or fake? Real or fake? I kind of feel like this one's a given. All right, here we go. I don't even need to count down. Just show me the answer. Fake. This is a combination of a cat head and a shark and shark teeth. All right. All right, let's see the next one. How many do we have left? Enough? All right. Real or fake? That is a giant crab crawling up a trash can. What do you got, Todd? You got real? We got a fake and a real. Oh, you're all changing now. You just changed? All right. Real or fake? Let's see it. Real. It's a coconut crab. Coconut crab is a species of hermit crab. That's wild. All right, let's see the next one. We got to eliminate somebody. That's a given. Real or fake? Let's see it. 1, 2, 3. You going real or fake here? Oh, you're going real, Race. All right, let's see it. Fake. Race this out. Race, how did you get out on that one? Okay. It's totally fake. But that dog is living its best life right now. All right, let's see. One more. Let's go. Let's go one more. Let's go one more. Real or fake? Real or fake? We got 2 reals. All right. Let's see the answer. This is a photo of a Boeing 737 flown by Canadian airline WestJet. Has anybody been to this airport in the Caribbean? I've seen videos, but I've not seen. All right, let's just give 7th grade guys. And Todd, what grade are you in now? Sophomore guys and 7th grade guys, 40 million points. All right, you guys can have a seat. Take a look at the video screen. Take a look at the video screen. Maybe. All right. So we are entering week 4 of our series called Pro Tips. And this is a series that's all been about wisdom. So help me finish this statement. Sticks and stones, but words will never. Yeah. How many of you agree with that? How many of you agree with that statement? Words will never hurt you. Yeah, nobody does because they do. It's not true. Today we're wrapping up this series, Pro Tip, and we've talked a lot about wisdom in these last couple of weeks that we've done it. Wisdom is one thing that can make you better at anything. And if you've missed some or all of the series, you're okay, because each week that we've done this, it's been kind of a standalone series. And so you're right on time today if you came today for the first time. And I think today's going to be helpful for some of you. So here's the thing. Words matter. I've said that to my daughters multiple occasions, and I'm sure that your parents have maybe even said that to you. Have you ever started off a sentence with, you would look better if, fill in the blank, and you regretted saying that to that person? Have any of you ever said, I can't stand that person, to seem really cool around one group of friends when you're actually friends with that person in real life? Have any of you given a compliment to someone who later said it changed their entire day? Have any of you ever received a compliment and it changed your entire day? Have any of you ever started venting under the excuse of, I'm just verbally processing this, but you knew that you were just being a little mean and it kind of hurt a relationship that you have? Have any of you ever started sharing about something that you're really passionate about and then realized that nobody was really paying attention to you and it just kind of cut a little bit into your soul? Have any of you ever used the privacy of a locker room or a bedroom as an excuse to talk about something that you really shouldn't have been talking about? Or have any of you ever sent like a DM or a text message to someone that if the other person had screenshotted that and sent it out to some people, that you would have really regretted sending that and had some consequences to it? Words matter even more when we're facing conflict in our life. And how many of you have ever been accused of using words to hurt others? I know that I have. It felt really good at that moment that you were using them because it just felt like you were getting some like weight off of your chest. But it wasn't until later that day that you thought, man, maybe I shouldn't have really said it that way. Or how many of you have ever known what it feels like to say something without even thinking about it, only to immediately regret what you just said? Maybe you blurted out your opinion about something and didn't realize that the person that you were talking about was standing right behind you. Had that happen to me before. maybe once that you had like the full story in context, your reaction made you just feel like a jerk. Sometimes I get to the other side of a conflict and I just simply wish that I had not said what I had said. And I'm sure that all of you sitting in your seats, if you really kind of reflect on that, can understand and empathize with that because you've been in that position as well. Maybe you can relate to that. Everyone handles conflict differently. Some people yell. Some people get really quiet and don't want to talk to anybody. Some people get really defensive and they start to blame other people. That's how I get. I get super defensive. And I just want to make everybody know that I'm right. But no matter what you do in a conflict, words take the center stage. The truth is, a lot of us don't understand the power that our words have. And I didn't realize it until my friends continued to point out how my words really created tension in some relationships. Words have power in your relationships with friends, with family, with teachers, and even with strangers, which is important to remember because I doubt most of us really wake up and hope to be really harsh to people with our words. Most of us aren't trying to be jerks on a normal basis. But the way that we say things can rub people the wrong way and create tension in our closest relationships. How many of you have ever used, how many of you like really use why am I drawing a blank on what it's called? Like when you're texting and it like autofills in words. How many of you know that your phones learn how you talk? Yeah? And it'll learn tendencies of words that you like to use or names. Like our daughter Naya, it didn't really know how to spell Naya for a long time. And now when I start typing out Naya, it doesn't try to correct it anymore because it knows that's what I'm using because I text family and friends her name. So, if I open up my phone and I just start texting, I'm just going to like create a sentence based off of words that I normally use, right? It kind of works this way. We all understand, it's called a predictive text, right? So you type something out enough times and it learns how you do. So I'm just going to do this real quick. Don't be afraid of, I'm just clicking the first thing that it said, of your friends, because they will always be around and will be there with your family. All right. Don't be afraid of your friends because they will always be around and will be there with your family. They like to creep around with your family, I guess. Words, I don't even know what that means, but you kind of get the point. I'm not sure what that says really about me. Like, I guess I'm afraid of my friends. Words have a way of sticking with people like they stick with our phones. And I know that not all of you have phones. I know that not all of you text. But you can kind of relate to that. No matter how hard we try to take words back or clear the history, like how many of you ever like sent something on a text and you're like, oh, I wish I could delete that. You can delete it, but it doesn't delete on their phone. They tend to leave a lasting impact on the people who receive them, especially when they're harsh, when they're hurtful, or just plain mean to people. But here's the most important part. One way that our words with others are different than predictive text is that some words only need to be said once to do some pretty significant damage. That's why I can still remember mean things that people said to me like 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Even though I guarantee you, they have forgotten about it, don't even think about it, I can still remember words that cut deep 25 years ago. That's the power of words. Some of you can even, and words can also work reversely too. We're like people that have inspired me, said something encouraging to me, and it made an impact on my life, and I can still remember those conversations today. Words matter. Some of you have lost friends over the words that you've texted. Some of you have gotten into huge arguments with your parents because of the words that they used or words that you used, causing some real damage in that relationship. Some of you have teachers that get really nervous when they see you coming into the classroom because they feel like you always have something disrespectful to say. Some of you can think of students that are in classes with you that your teachers are like, oh boy, here they come, right? What we say and how we say it often carries more power than what we realize. And unfortunately, sometimes our relationships suffer because of our words. So what do? I mean, we have to use words to communicate, right? Is there a way for us to communicate during conflict without losing our cool? Is there a way to communicate that creates stronger friendships and healthier relationships while also making a way for honesty? We should be able to be honest with people. We've been looking at the book of Proverbs. So if you have your Bibles, you can open up to the book of Proverbs. So we've been looking at the book of Proverbs throughout this series. And Proverbs is a book in the Old Testament that includes a ton of short little sayings and principles that communicate a specific truth to help us make better choices. That's the whole intent of that book. Its main purpose is to teach us wisdom and the best way to live. And we're going to look at another verse from the book of Proverbs today. But before we do that, I want to make a quick observation. Dealing with conflict is not something that only our generation has dealt with. Dealing with conflict is not something that only your generation has dealt with. You aren't the first, you're not going to be the last, and learning how to do this is super important. And you're going to have to help navigate the next generation through that as well. So learning how to use our words isn't something that only modern teenagers struggle with. Human beings have been dealing with conflict in words for a long, long time. It's a timeless battle that you're always going to have to be fighting, which means even though we're going to look at it today, or even though what we're going to look at today was written thousands of years ago, it is a timeless, universal truth that still is relevant to us today. So don't believe the lie of Scripture not being relevant in our lives, because it totally is. And it goes like this. If you open up to Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1, it says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger." So like many verses in Proverbs, this one is communicating kind of two different choices, opposites even. In this case, it's the choice that we have when it comes to how we use our words. Let's start with the second half of the verse, or the second choice. A harsh word stirs up anger. At this point, it would probably be helpful to define what a harsh word is. So I would say that harsh words are unpleasant words that are usually spoken with an angry tone, usually with the intention of shutting down the conversation, proving a point, or hurting someone, right? If you've recently been in trouble or in an argument or a disagreement, you probably know what I'm talking about here. You felt that urge to say something super sarcastic or rude or disrespectful. Any of those things qualify as the harsh words that Proverbs is referring to. Now, let's go back to the first part of that verse, first part of that proverb, to see a different choice when it comes to using our words. Can you go back to that other verse real quick? A gentle answer turns away wrath. Gentle words make it harder to be mad. Jesus was a great example of this. There were certain times when Jesus used quote unquote harsh language to call our religious leaders out who are wrong. But there are also examples of Jesus applying the heart behind this very proverb in Proverbs chapter 15. One example was written down by Jesus' best friend John. And he wrote about religious leaders trying to con Jesus into making a statement that would allow them to either stone a woman or to take Jesus to court. And if you don't know what stoning is, it's literally just throwing rocks at someone until they die. Like a ridiculously horrifying, awful way of dying. So they try and pin him into this situation where they're either going to kill this lady or be able to take him to court. And what does Jesus do? Well, you can find the answer in John chapter 8. And in verse 7, Jesus, in this intense moment, he stoops down, he writes in the dirt, and he eventually says something to people that to this day we still quote. To the angry leaders, he basically says, whoever's perfect, whoever has never sinned, throw the first stone and start the process to kill her. So he said, whoever of you, whichever you has no sin, pick up a stone and throw it. And we don't really know what he wrote in the dirt, but it had to be jarring to them, because what happens next to that vengeful crowd that's wanting to kill her or take him to court, they literally just turn around and walk away. And in the same way that Jesus' response turned away an angry crowd, your words can diffuse the situation when it comes to somebody's anger with you. Your gentle words can literally turn them away, turn their anger away. Think about it. Whether it's your mom, your brother, or somebody that you're fighting with, when you speak nicely to them, it's really hard for them to keep escalating the argument if you respond to them with gentleness and kindness, right? It's really difficult. If they ask or if they say something awful to you and you respond with gentleness, it's really awkward for them to keep coming at you, right? When it comes to dealing with conflict and arguments, wisdom says that technically we have two choices. Even though there's really just one choice if we want what's best for others and for ourselves. We can respond with gentle words or we can respond with harsh words. If we want to shut down the conversation and have tension in our relationships, harsh words are the clear choice. But here's what wisdom teaches us. It teaches us that if we want to be heard, we need to use gentle words. To clarify, gentleness is not weakness. It's the absolute opposite. It's power that's under control. What Jesus said to those religious leaders was the opposite of weakness. Gentleness is wisdom flexing its muscles, which also means it's not compromising on what's true. Pros know that there's power in using gentle words. You have the power to impact people positively or negatively. Your words have more power and influence over the situation than you might think. And if you want to keep your influence with your friends, with your family, with other adults, you need to use gentle words. When it comes to dealing with conflict in your relationships, the question you have to ask yourself is this: would you rather make a point or would you rather be heard? Because oftentimes making a point and being heard are not the same thing. Making a point is about your ability to clap back at a person and shut down the conversation. It's about winning. It's about who has the wittiest comeback. You say what you want to say, and it even may feel good in the moment, but the other person doesn't leave thinking better of you necessarily. When one side wins, the relationship will always lose. Being heard means communicating clearly. That happens when you intentionally do everything in your power to make sure that the other person understands you and not just what you're saying. This isn't a flawless thing all the time. Sometimes you can do everything in your power and still not be fully understood by someone else. But no matter what, you can watch your tone, you can choose your words carefully because you value the relationship more than you value winning in that moment. So what does this look like in real life? There's a couple of things that we can try. The first thing is, if you want to be heard, then be the first one to hear. This automatically sets you up to respond more gently. After hearing out the other side, it can sound like responding with, so what I'm hearing you say is, and then just repeat back what you think that you heard. Not with your spin on it, but in your own words. What did you just hear them say to you? And if the other person feels like you heard and understood them, they will feel connected. They will be more likely to listen to you. And that means if you want to be heard by someone else, you must be the first one to hear. Being heard is about learning how to listen. And the second thing is to consider taking a time out. When you take an intentional pause, some deep breaths, go on a short walk, go into another room, maybe pray, you can calm down and truly consider the other side, which can help you think of a more gentle response. See, just bringing a little calm, a little patience, and kindness into your words in a situation can go a really long way. You can still be honest about how you feel and what you want. Just say it in a different tone with few different words, because the approach that you take to those conversations really matters. If you want to be heard, use gentle words. Imagine how different your friendships and relationships would be if everyone chose to use gentle words. Think about the impact on your schools, the impact on your communities, the impact in your families, the impact on our world. Using gentle words can make a huge difference, both on the way that others experience you and in the way that they are heard by others. So when we head to our small groups this morning, here's a question that I want you to think about. How are you currently using the power of your words? It's going to be really easy, especially for some like middle school boys, to gloss over this and be like, he's not talking to me. How are you using currently the power of your words? Let's pray. God, we thank you for the wisdom that you have given us through Scripture. And God, I thank you for this series where we can walk away with concrete bits of wisdom that we can put into our everyday life that are so relevant to where we are. God, I pray that these students can walk away from this morning. They can be really open with each other and challenged in their small groups with the idea that our words matter. How we speak, how we listen, how we connect and engage with other people matters. And it matters how well that you are known in our world. Because we can say one thing and be something completely different that completely discredits everything that we said. So God, I pray that we can walk into situations with a little bit more patience, with a little bit more gentleness, and a little less harshness and will to win a conversation or an argument. God, that we just strive to be understood and to understand the perspective of someone who is very different from us and experiences things in a different way. So God, I pray for our conversation. I pray for our small group leaders as they facilitate this time. And God, I pray for our students that we can have open and honest conversation about our words and how they impact those around us. God, we give you all honor and glory in these conversations, and thank you. Amen. All right, you guys can head to your small groups. Thank you.